There was an unprecedented announcement on Tuesday just before 3 p.m. on the steps of the National Assembly, where Speaker Baleka Mbete announced that the State of the Nation address scheduled for 7 p.m. on Thursday would be postponed indefinitely. Now, this decision it came as a shock to many, but it was as a result of a number of deliberations they have had with different parties. The ANC caucus, the political committee of the ANC caucus, met on Tuesday morning, where they first decided that it would be in the best interest for Parliament to postpone the State of the Nation address, as the fate of President Jacob Zuma hangs in balance. Once the ANC, the majority party in Parliament, sort of gave that undertaking, when they met in a multi-party meeting this afternoon with the Speaker and the presiding officers of the National Assembly, it was then unanimous that the State of the Nation should be postponed. Baleka Mbete left Parliament, went next door to Tenhays, President Jacob Zuma's office, where he was there holding earlier cabinet committee meetings, and communicated that this was the decision taken. President Jacob Zuma then told the Speaker of the National Assembly, Baleka Mbete, that actually he was going to write to her to make the same request, that the State of the Nation should be postponed. Now, Baleka Mbete made the announcement, and after which the presidency issued a statement saying that the developments that are happening in the country did not make it conducive for the sitting to happen and for the President to deliver the State of the Nation address. They did not elaborate what those developments are, but if one has to make any deduction, it would be that the ANC National Working Committee has decided that the President be removed from office. They have now called for a special NEC meeting for Wednesday evening, which was supposed to happen on the eve of the State of the Nation address. Now that the State of the Nation address is postponed, the ANC has welcomed that and reaffirming that its NEC will sit for the urgent meeting where they will discuss the fate of President Jacob Zuma. We understand that the possible scenarios now that they are not sort of dealing with a timeline or a deadline of the impending State of the Nation is that they will have to decide as the NEC to recall the president of the state. He's no longer the president of the party, and so it makes it very difficult for anyone to argue against this. They have asked him to resign earlier in the week. He has since rejected that offer on Sunday when the top 6 officials met with him to discuss the matter. They have now taken a decision that he should be recalled. Recalling the president of the Republic happens in good faith, because a recall means that he would have to then tender his resignation. It is unclear if President Jacob Zuma would accede to this recall when and if it happens. The second scenario that may likely play out, as per some of the ANC-NEC members' discussions, is that they would have to sponsor a motion of no confidence against President Jacob Zuma. If a motion of no confidence against President Jacob Zuma is supported by the ANC, it would be passed in the National Assembly, and the consequences of it would be that he would obviously lose his job as president. He would lose all his benefits and perks and pension, and then he would not be able to work in the state ever again. That's according to Section 89 of the Constitution. And as a result of that motion, Cabinet would have to be dissolved. And that's when it becomes a little complicated. The easier solution for the ANC right now is for President Jacob Zuma to resign, and I think that's why they went to him and asked him to resign as officials. But he sort of, hit back, saying that it was not a decision of the NEC. So I think they want the NEC meeting to formalize this call for President Jacob Zuma to resign. They are officially recalling him from his deployment as the head of the state, and as a result that there would be a vacancy in his office, and the deputy president, as in line with the Constitution, can step in. And I think that's what the ANC is aiming for, a Thabo Mbeki-like approach, where the former president of the Republic and the ANC, Thabo Mbeki, was recalled by the ANC, and he subsequently tendered his resignation to the National Assembly. President Jacob Zuma has a history of resisting calls for his resignation, but I think that the political uncertainty, especially the developments around the postponement of the State of the Nation address, is reason enough to believe that his days are numbered and it's now the end of the road for him. It's about a matter of time that South Africa will have a new president, and I think it will be interesting to see how it all unfolds.